answer any questions that you have regarding AwardSpring and how to use the system. It's very straightforward, and I'm hoping that once we walk through the guide, you'll be able to see that as well. And if you have any questions at the end, I'll be happy to answer them. Just keeping in mind, if there are any specific questions, I may need to take them offline to respond to, but hopefully that's not the case. But if it is, we can totally deal with it at that point. So I'm going to walk through the guide and share my screen. Feel free to pop questions in the chat as you need to. All right, so I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Thank you for the confirmation. All right, folks. So as Tisha mentioned, this will be shared with you after the session, so feel free to just follow along. If you wanted to log on to the system and kind of work through the application as we go, you're welcome to do that, and I will share the information on how you can do that. So the website to log in to AwardSpring, I will type into the chat so that you have that available to you. And you're going to log in just with your student. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Can we still see my screen? The guide?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. I've included the link to AwardSpring here. And you will sign in with your existing login credentials with your TMU user ID and password. Once you log in, you'll be required to have your verification code through your two-factor authentication. And from there, you'll be able to log into the system once you have gone through the privacy and use policy. So the first step in AwardSpring is to complete your general application. So what does that look like? The general application is the application that is used to match you to scholarships and awards and bursaries on the system as they open. So the application is a few questions that are self-reported information. A lot of the information we already are pulling from my service hub. So anything related to course loads or academic information, program, CGPA, that's already in the system for you. So once you start, you're going to click Start Application, and that is going to bring you to the privacy information section. You'll want to read through that and then click on Next Step. That'll bring you to general information. So as I mentioned previously, a lot of the information is already pulled from my service hub. So we're really only asking students to complete questions that only you would know the answers to, so that are specific to you as a student. So the first is the Ontario residence piece. Some awards require applicants to be a resident of Ontario, so you'll just want to read through the options and select the one that best fits your case. That is the first step in the general information. The next section is academic information. So again, a lot of this information is already pulled so that you don't even have to see it. You're only going to see the answers that you have to report to. So the next one in academic information is going to ask, are you a new and incoming student enrolling for post-secondary for the first time? You'll just answer yes or no. And all of these instructions are also included on the guide. So the next piece is the financial information section. This will first ask you if you would like to be considered for awards, scholarships, and bursaries that require you to demonstrate financial need. You'll either select yes or no. Our recommendation is that students select yes and complete the budget form, as that will allow you to be matched to more award opportunities that are on the system. But you're also welcome to select no and move on as well. But we will touch on a little bit how to complete this financial information section should you want to. So for applicants, we ask that they don't complete it, but as current students, you'll want to complete the budget form. So if you have selected yes, it'll prompt you to ask if you are an applicant or student, or current student, you'll select current student. And from there, the budget form will populate. So essentially, what the budget form is asking you to do is take a picture, a financial snapshot of the resources and expenses that you have for the current semester. So this is an important piece. You'll want to keep in mind that you're reporting things that are only specific to the fall semester. So what do resources look like? So resources are financial aid and waivers. So things that if you receive a scholarship from the university, that is already going to be included in your budget form once it's processed. So there are some instances. So when we're talking about financial aid, number one, and OSAP funding and resources, that information is automatically imported to your application. So you really have to report for savings for school that you have saved, any external award amounts that you may have received, non-OSAP student financial aid, any employment income, and then finally, any further financial resources that you have access to. All the details and information is included on the slide here. And then for expenses, tuition and ancillary fees are going to be automatically imported into your account, so you don't have to worry about reporting that. But what you'll do need to report is educational supplies such as materials, books, laptops, any expenses related to research. The third is housing, anything that you are paying towards that for yourself. Transportation, telecommunications such as internet and phone bills, food, personal self-care, standard of living costs, and then any dependent or primary caregiver support. So when you're completing the budget form, we have a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. So again, you want to be reporting that information for 4 months at a time. So that's one semester. And the dates are listed here for the fall term would be September to December. Students who are receiving OSAP, you still need to complete the budget form, but if you are receiving OSAP, you will be automatically considered as demonstrating financial needs. So you'll still want to work through the steps of completing the budget form. It's a really good exercise in financial planning. But for students who have OSAP, you will automatically be considered as demonstrating financial need. All right. So when you're reporting financial information, it's not about, to demonstrate financial need, it's not about providing the most need available. It's about showing sound financial planning for your studies. So if you submitted a budget form that has no resources, so $0 in resources, or submit a form that shows a significant gap between resources and expenses, you will be advised to review your application again for accuracy and completeness. You'll get a warning notification on your budget form should that happen. As always, if you are struggling with anything and you need to have questions, our email is here, awards@torontomu.ca, and we can kind of help support you through that process when it comes to demonstrating financial need. We do our assessments weekly, so you can update your forms at any time. So for example, if you have a resource that comes available to you in October, you can go into the system and update that on their end, and you'll be able to kind of walk through that and adjust it. So we'll do weekly assessments, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us. All right, so that is the financial information section. The next piece is the qualification question. So this section of the application gives you an opportunity to tell us more about yourself. So we offer a number of opportunities to support access to education and student contributions through leadership and extracurricular involvement. There's also awards dedicated to serving equity deserving groups in our student community. So I'll preface this by saying it is optional to complete this section, but the more you're able to tell us, the more awards you'll be able to access on the system, because if we don't know the information, we're unable to match you. So once you complete the privacy section as well, you'll understand that the information is not shared. It is only shared with reviewers who are assessing your scholarship, and that information is kept confidential. So students are able to report if they self-identify with any groups, leadership involvement. If you are a part of any athletic team, you can report that on the system. And then they'll ask general questions such as, are you a first-generation student? And are you participating in any particular programs at the university? So the more you're able to share on this application, the better that we'll be able to match you to scholarships available. All right, so we're going to go in a little bit more detail about the qualification questions. So again, there's always the option that says prefer not to answer or none of the above, so you can go with those. So if more than one of these responses apply to you, you can include all of them. So you just have to go back into the search bar and select all that apply to you. So if you have selected a racialized person, another additional drop down will appear so that you can identify which group that you are a part of. You'll want to make sure that you're doing all parts of this. The application will show that it's in progress if you haven't completed certain areas. So just double check that you're completing all of the next steps. So once you've completed that, you'll click the next step button and that'll bring you to an attestation. So you'll read through the statements. We want to ensure that you're reporting accurate information that is related to yourself and also when you're matching to scholarships. And then we'll also note that you understand that even though that you're submitting an application, it doesn't guarantee funds when you're applying via AwardSpring. So the last piece is the disclaimer. So you'll go through the policy, and once that is the last piece of the general application, and you'll click submit application. Once your application is complete, the submit application button will become available. If it is grayed out, it is likely that you have missed a part of the application. So you'll just want to go back and double check all those things are correct and completed. Alrighty, so once you've completed the general application, that is the first step. That is how you are going to be matched to scholarships. So right now, awards are still being opened on a rolling basis. So a lot of the awards that are available for fall will be open now through to October. Once you do, you'll see the awards that you have been matched to on your AwardSpring dashboard. So the dashboard does all the matching based on what you've submitted on your application to awards that are currently open for application. So you will not see an award that's not open yet. But if you do see an award that you think, hey, I should be eligible for this, why am I not matching to it? You're always welcome to reach out to our department and we can kind of navigate why you aren't matching to an award. Right now, it's likely the award is not open. So for the awards that are open, students will see all of the awards listed there and you'll click complete follow-up to apply for that specific award. So completing the general application is your first step. The next step is to complete the follow-ups for the awards that you want to be considered for. So, for example, if you're clicking on the Dan McIntyre Human Rights Awards, you'll click complete follow-up in this box here, and that'll bring you to what we call additional requirements for an award. So that can include a short answer question. It could include a reference letter. It could include having you upload your resume, for example. These are all the factors that will be considered when students are applying for the award and when their application is being assessed to select recipients from a review group. So you're able to type directly into AwardSpring your written statement. You can also take advantage of the formatting options to make your written statement clear and easy to read for reviewers. The next example could be a letter of recommendation. So referees are able to upload their information directly into AwardSpring. You will just have to populate their first and last name and their email, and a request will go out to them for them to complete their reference for you. It'll be automatically submitted onto AwardSpring, and all of these pieces need to be completed by the deadline date in order for you to submit your scholarship. So you'll be able to see the status of your recommendation letter if it's been completed or not. Again, we encourage you to send it in advance so that the referees have the time to submit in order to meet the deadline date as well. Your application is not automatically submitted once a reference letter is complete. So you'll want to go into the system, make sure everything's correct, and then you're submitting your application to be considered. All right, so once all the follow-up items are completed to your application, you'll click Submit Application for that specific award once you've completed all of the follow-ups. So when you return to your dashboard, you'll no longer see that award listed as you've already completed it. However, in the event that you'd like to edit your award applications, you do have the opportunity to do that prior to the deadline date. You will have to navigate a little bit differently to find that scholarship once you've submitted it. So you'll move from the dashboard to the scholarships tab, and then you'll filter for the awards that you've applied to. Once you found that award, you'll click on the name and you'll be able to adjust your written statement. You'll be able to adjust any uploads that you have made. And you'll just have to click resubmit application once you're done with those edits so that they can be saved and sent to the committee. If you click the scholarship tab while you're logged in, you'll see a list of awards and scholarships, including their upcoming deadlines and any that you have applied or been awarded to. Scholarships awards are typically reviewed a few weeks after the deadline. So we can say up to a month after the deadline has passed. And if you're a successful recipient, your status will be listed as awarded, but all departments will email their students once they have been selected as a recipient as well. So and all those emails will be done through your official Toronto MU email account. So you'll want to keep a close eye on that. And with that, I've kind of gotten to the end of all of the pieces in completing a general application. So I'm going to stop sharing and then I will pass it over to Tanisha for any additional comments. And then if we have any questions, I'll be happy to answer that as well.
Thank you so much, Visita. That was great. As the member of the grad team that works with AwardSpring and facilitating the awards to the students, this is an invaluable information. So we're so grateful that you were able to carve out the time to speak to the students today. There's a few of you in here, but do you have any questions for Visita? Going once. Going twice. Let me check to see if any hands went up. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to attend this session. We're going to wrap it up here. And just as a reminder that we're going to be posting the slides. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Are there specific awards that do not, sorry. Are there specific awards that do not require us to apply?
That is a great question.
Yes,
So
go
there's
ahead.
only a couple instances when students do not need to complete an application. So in AwardSpring, we have all of the awards available on the system that require an application. So a couple awards don't require that, such as the Student Access Guarantee, which is for students who are receiving OSAP. You are automatically considered for that funding. And the second one is the Guaranteed Entrance Scholarship Program. So those are scholarships offered to incoming students for their first year. They do not need to apply. It's included in your admissions letter. And for those renewals, you don't need to apply as well. So those are really the only two cases where you're not having to apply to an award on AwardSpring to be considered.
We do have an award that is not on AwardSpring, the Creative School Graduate Development Award, and that's something that we do in the winter term, and we facilitate that application process at the program level. So that's something that you won't see on AwardSpring as well, just to add to that. I'm just going to read the question, the additional part of the question aloud. For instance, should I be applicable? I should be applicable for the CBC News World Award, but there is no place to apply. Oh, for journalism students, yes, like that is usually something that the adjudication process happens off of AwardSpring, but it's based on the best student in a course. It's a course-based award, so it's a little bit of a different one. It's a kind of an exception. Thank you for bringing that up.
Can I add something to that as well?
Yes.
I think it also depends on the dates when the awards are open and closed. So if the award hasn't opened, you may not see some of those awards as well. So keep your eyes out for an email from Tunisia when the awards are actually open, and then you'll know it's opening up, and then you can look and see the actual announcers up in the system.
Thank you, Daniel. Are there any further questions?
I'm dropping in our awards email just in case you have any questions that you don't want to ask, but you can also email here as well.
Fantastic. Okay, so thank you so much for attending this session. Look out for the slides that we're going to send you from this presentation, and also the recording will be made available on our onboarding website. And you're most welcome. We're glad to host this session. This is AwardSpring is an incredible platform that gives you access to so many awards, and we're just grateful that Fasita was able to carve out the time to give you the meat and potatoes you need to navigate that system. So thank you so much for attending, and that is all. Bye for now.